What's up, guys? Hope everyone had a good Easter weekend. While there's a break for those of you who've been trading as aggressively as we have, man, guys, we are seeing all kinds of freaking action that happened in the Nasdaq. We saw our sell continuation to the downside come out quite nicely. Just so that you guys know, I did actually have a sell limit set up right here on the lower time frame, and I actually got taken out, but I mean that's not important. I mean it was a quick out in, and I lost like, must have been something like a couple of pips, like a couple of £100, so that's okay. We see we got a nice rejection here off the 8 MA, and the market just melted all the way down. There was a lot of uncertainty. If I quickly can go to the low time frames, you see there was a lot of uncertainty at first, and then the market just fell. Right, like, so we were all over the place only to fall. So I kind of missed my sell originally was here with my stop loss just above this wick here, where I should have actually used the order block into consideration, taken this one, and I had my stop up here, waited for the market to come there and maybe see from there if I should close, and I could have caught the wholesale downside, but caught the gain here and kind of just ran it down again, but that's fine, that's not important. What do we see for the Nasdaq now in the next week or so? So first thing we want to take into consideration is Nasdaq fell aggressively downside here, right? We see here that there's what do they call it now, there's bullish divergence sitting over here, right? Meaning the Nasdaq won't fall for much longer, right? Well, according to the RSI, the Nasdaq won't fall for much longer. Structurally speaking, it filled the imbalance quite nicely here. This was the daily imbalance that it filled, that a weekly imbalance that I had going on here. It folded nicely. So with that, what can be said about what we look for in the coming weeks? So right, so first I'm going to do the buy sentiment, because I do suspect that we will sell further down first and then shoot up. So let's do the buy sentiment, because it's quite a quick one. The buy would be something like this. So guys, now we're chilling inside of an imbalance here, right, with a liquor order block sitting over here, which could also signify a buy side, upside. If you do buy, my recommendation would be, first and foremost, don't do anything under this, like don't do anything higher than this level here, right? Just a buy like that, maybe. So what you need to take into consideration, I'm on a daily chart, so you're gonna have to break this chart up. What I'll do is I always recommend to the guys, join the free Telegram channel. We'll share segments of it. Should it buy, should it sell? We'll be sharing segments of it like once or twice a week, so you'd be able to catch at least one entry here. Reason why I say don't even go that high, guys, to be honest with you. Just go till here. Just go till here. That's it. Don't really fiddle further than that. What does that look like on a 4 hour for you? You're kind of waiting to see what happens here now. Come up, ping, down. Here is institutional traders being involved here. Now, that would be my buy sentiment for now. Just for the beginning of the week. I might just send an update later in the week. With that being said, though, if we can just quickly go to the daily chart, there's something you guys need to take into consideration. So I'm going to show you two imbalances now on two separate time frames. Remember, guys, the higher time, that's something I learned the hard way this week. The higher time frame imbalances tend to trump the lower time frame imbalances, right? So here's an imbalance here, right, that you guys need to take into consideration prior to making any decisions to sell or buy or whatever the case might be, right? You could catch a sell here if we fall into this imbalance, right? When imbalances get filled, they're nice places to kind of catch bigger sells. Like that's a big imbalance to take on, right? So I'm just going to change this color for the sake of going onto the 4 hour chart quickly. I'm going to make it orange, yeah, so we can identify it on the 4 hour chart. Can I just hide this one, seeing as we folded already? Right, clean up the chart a little bit, right? Now what you take into consideration, guys, is look at where your 8 MA is, right? All you do is, you do this, you run this through like this. There's an imbalance here, that should be filled. See, it's a low time frame imbalance, so that's the pullback. Right, you see what I'm doing? Like low time frames, you consider the pullback. We're on an overall downtrend. You see here, we're on an overall downtrend. So we suspect a pullback because there's an imbalance here. Look where my 8 MA is sitting. So those of you who've watched my conference part 2 will know The 8 coincides with where the imbalances sit. It's often that way. So what could happen is, right, the market could come up like this. Market could come up into this imbalance and sell off from here, and you catch the sell all the way downside, right? That's obviously more aggressive in terms of trading in general, right? So you could do something like maybe even just this, to be honest with you. Let me just put it out in a chart format. You put a sell limit here with a stop loss just above that level. You know, you don't want to get stopped up by the stupidity over here. And then you just run it here. I mean, that's good. That's freaking phenomenal. That as a first entry, you know, we come into this like Tuesday or so, and we kind of run it that way. You could do that, right? You could even go as far as going to a lower time frame than that and saying, okay, sell limit, and I want to pull my stop even tighter up here. It just depends on what you're going to do, guys. But you're going to target these lows, these equal lows down here. You're going to target them first. That would be your first sell sentiment, right? So let me just go back to the file quickly. Right? In an ideal world, what I would like is this though. Show position quickly. This here. Pull this down. Put it up there. In an ideal world, this is what I would like to chase. But there's a bigger scheme here, guys, which is something I want. So this video will be a little bit longer than usual, right? So there's a bigger scheme. So I'll still sell limit, chase it into the imbalance. But by the time we get here, my stop would already have been down here. You know, I'd be in profits with my stop. Always move your stops, guys. And I would have closed off some partials by the time we filled this imbalance and cleared it out. Or I'd even wait as far as we get down till here. Then I'll move my stop to just above the imbalance line. So it's a 50 level, so I'll keep it maybe something like that. But by then, remember, the stop's still in profits already. My stop's all up in there. Once we get up in there, I can just move it downward. You know, you can adjust it any way you see fit. That depends on your risk management, really. Right? But that's the entry that I'm looking at now. Right? For the imbalance, take that out. Cool. Then for the more conservative trader, what I'd recommend is, if you wait for the low to be broken, like basically break that order block and come into this imbalance, there's also one for you guys here. And the beautiful thing about that is, once it's in, you can your stock can be really tight, no? Remember, guys, once you come into this imbalance, we'll get pullbacks. Once we come inside here, so the first one would be at the mid level, right? So the mid level of the imbalance would be here, right? As you can see, there's also a lot of interaction there. That's where you move your stop to entry, right? That's where I start closing with partials, and then I move my stop to entry, close of partials. Now I locked a little bit of profits in, and even if it pulled back outside of my imbalance, I'm chilled with that because I've already locked off profits and I have a mid level that's through. It will more than likely come down here, pull up a little bit, and then fall again. But to just obviously for your own sake, you want to kind of have the space to move around within this level, right? Now, those are the two entries. So remember, you can sell limit down into this. Let me just recap that. Sell limit here. Conservative trader, we do this. Right, you chase that low. Then the more aggressive trader, you can come inside here, and then you have this option here as well. Right? Those are your three options there. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove this quickly off here, guys. Right? Just quickly. Just want to show you guys something. So we're on a daily. Here's an order block sitting right here. Right? The market, if you look at the overall structure, now remember I just referred to imbalances now, right? If I look at the overall structure of the market, right? Here's an order block sitting right here at the bottom. Right? Just watch this. I pull up my fib from the swing high to the current swing low, and look where my target sits. See? Do you guys see what I mean? So if I were to come up here, right? If I were to pull back now in the new market open, boom, nick that, fall that imbalance, nick off the 23.6 and then fall. I can target that one and I can target that one, right? That would totally destroy the imbalance that's sitting inside here. So that would be totally up to you guys. In an ideal world, to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna wait for the pullback, because I'm either gonna wait for a pullback up here into this level and I'm gonna set up a sell limit here, right? I'm going to do it, right? So whether it triggers, if it doesn't trigger sell, I will get in. This will be my ultimate target, but this might take a few days. But when you look at where my Fibonacci levels sit, the chances of going here are, man, they're incredible. I swear, guys, they're freaking incredible. If it doesn't break up in here first, and I see no bullish divergence, like, yeah, I see it already, right? I see a bullish divergence trying to pull out here already as it is, right? Which is cool, right? I will wait for the market to fall in this level below that 0% fib, retest the 0% fib, so more of a retail way of trading rather than a smart money. And then, oops, sorry guys, and then what I'll do is I'll get in from here if it doesn't pull back. Remember, I just like to make contingency plans, guys. Now, take note, I can very easily take this buy coming in here. I'm not going to though, right? So if the case is that you're not going to fall that imbalance and you fall into this area here, this is an imbalance area within the daily time frame. Once you fall into here, you're going to fall, meaning my minus 27, look where my minus 27 is. And if you guys watched that, if you guys saw earlier, look where my imbalance is on the daily. You see? So I will run it into that imbalance at the very least, even if you don't want to fall the imbalance above you. Okay? So that's the Nasdaq, guys. One thing I do recommend is always use it for Fibonacci, man. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of trader you are, to be honest with you. I don't care if you're a moving averages trader. I don't care if you're a smart money concept trader. I don't care if you strictly do order blocks. I don't care if you strictly do imbalances. If you strictly use what's it called, support and resistance trend lines, whatever you choose to do, that's your decision to make, right? For me, I prefer to use the smart money concepts, and I've been using it recently with a lot of success, a lot more, to be honest with you, so much more than I have with the retail trading perspective. But if I take a retail trader's perspective into mind, I know what to expect as a smart money concept trader, right? Hence why I uploaded those videos first, and during those uploads I was learning this concept. The benefit of that concept for me is this, guys. Look here, no? You see how we started forming bullish divergences here. You see these green lines that are starting to fall, because as a smart money as a retail trader, if I did this, right, all this is telling me is we're going to pull down. But look, now this is what you need to pay attention to, guys. And this is how you know you're succeeding as a general sort of, in inverted commas, retail trader, right? This trend line here is giving me confidence to the same areas, and that's how you know you're using the right shit, man. Right? Don't be discouraged by people telling you, oh, a retail trader shit, and that, this, that, and the other. If you follow structure in the market, like, guys, like, the importance of market structure is vital, man. Like, it's the tool you need the most, right? So if you follow that structure, look where we're falling into. According to this thing, we still haven't tested my trend line properly yet, right? If I go to a weekly, let's say, for example, you see, we've not touched the trend line yet. We must come touch it to confirm that we're going to go bullish, and it just happens to coincide with where that is. If it doesn't, then you as the numbnuts retail trader, in this instance, is going to get taken out because it's going to chase these order blocks over here, right? This is for a later time. These order blocks are for a later time, and it's not our concern right now. We're just worried what's happening in this vicinity here right now. Right. Let's move over to GBP Jpy. So GBP Jpy, as you can see, it triggered. I had a buy from here up, but I actually didn't suspect. I actually expected it to fall by now already. I expected it to do something like this, right? Come up, maybe here. Yeah, here was where I said the sell was. Come down. Eat up this here, eat up this imbalance here, and then fly, retest, and then fly. But what happened was GBP Jpy had very positive fundamentals, which we'll go over now in shortly, right? So it pushed the market upside. However, with that being said, guys, if you look at what's happening here, you see bearish divergence is coming into play. You guys will notice I pay more attention to my RSI right now, but that's simply because of the way I trade now, right? So what I'm going to wait for GBP Jpy is to come full. Take this block out of the way. Sorry guys, I didn't actually have a chance to fully analyze the chart to make it clean enough to like kind of present, but this should be good enough. If I look at GBP Jpy now, I suspect the pullback wall is in order. A decent pullback on, like, let's say go to weekly, for example. See, I suspect the pullback here is in order, right? Because the only thing you have to take into consideration, a weekly candle here, this week is long, guys. There's going to be little to no imbalance to fall on like other times, man. There's a reason this wick fold here, right? But if we take into consideration, if I can just hide this one quickly, if you take into consideration that from the time of market open, and you guys, you don't have to do this. I do it because I'm a little bit OCD. From the time of market open, this whole thing remains in imbalance, right? And that's on a weekly chart. So what do we look for on H4? If we are inside of that block, right, which is here, let me just go 1 second. If we are inside of that block, so I'll just put it just below just so I can see it on the 4 hour. If we are inside of here, if we fall back inside of here, we'll fold this entire imbalance out, right? Because the wick of the previous weekly candle is down here. So that divergence could be the pullback, right? So then you look for the smart money concept to sort of pan out that I was looking at, where the market pulls down here. But now, because this is an order block here, here's another one. If we can fill this imbalance and we can't hold it, we'll just fall down into here. We need to buy from this mid-level area again. If we can't fill that, so remember your stops are super tight, guys. Your stop would be somewhere here. On this one, it would be something like this, you know, just below. Then we target stuff like that. But we're waiting on pullbacks now. We're waiting on pullbacks. So for now, right, what I'd say is, watch what GBP JPY does in this vicinity, in this block over the coming days now. We'll wait for a pullback and see which one of these order blocks it wants to ping off of. I would definitely recommend go on the daily chart, right? Mark this one off here. Mark this one here. I'm not going to put text in there, guys. I'm just going to make it so that you can see where I'm talking about. Mark that one off there and mark this one off here. These are your 2 points of interest. Actually, maybe a little bit higher. Mark these 2 points off. Yeah? Reason being is because I suspect that's where our pullbacks are going to come too. With that being said, we are bullish on GBP JPY. I closed off my entry as soon as it started because I got in from the bottom here somewhere, right? So I've been swinging this. I closed off once we came back up here again because I just didn't want to handle the drawdown, because you can see here's the liquidity pool here. So it just kept coming down. But the third time it hit and it made the bearish candle, and then I closed. I was like, no, I'm not going to hold it anymore. I should have actually held it, because if you look at the whole thing, this was just accumulation here. Anyway, beside the point. So what do we want from GBP JPY? We want you to pull in. So now here, you see this is an imbalance here, right? Here's the mid-level. Here's an order block, right? This would also be a good point to put your thingy, a pending order in here. Here's an imbalance sitting here. We could get a bounce off here as well, right? And it could just continue upside depending on what's going to happen. And we'll have a quick look at the news after this video, after this chart, right? So we see that happening there. So essentially, I'm not going to get into GBP JPY until I see what happens inside of the square. I won't take this order here. If you want to take it, this is what it looks like. Right, so you can set up something like a buy limit there with a target up here. Right, that's one. This is the first one I would consider from around about here and put it just below this imbalance level here and run it up to that same area up there. I'll run that. That would be the first, my first one. So I'll set a buy limit up there. My stop I'd even make a little bit tighter even there, just in case it wants to fall this and then shoot outward. If we come through that, that's great, because then what I'll do is I'll put a sell stop, I'll sell from here once we come through the imbalance, actually from this level. Yeah, once you come through here, I'll do this and I'll chase this area and then I'll just hang back. You could, realistically, in all honesty, you could do this and do it all the way, let it fill this imbalance up here, let it fill this imbalance and then just, you know, sort of just melt. But that's totally up to you how you want to trade this chart. This I would need a little bit of updating here and there because it's kind of more fundamentally driven than the Nasdaq is, right? But that's that for now. I just wanted to quickly also show you guys a quick look at EURUSD. As you can see, I'm already in a trade here. I had a sell limit set up here with a 5 pip drawdown. Freaking phenomenal, guys! Like, and that was off a smart money concept. I do suspect another pullback to come into this area over here, right? If I go too quickly to a 4 hour, what you can see is, you see how it's starting to show divergences here. We should see a pullback. So I closed off partials here, running stop is at entry. you could see a pullback up into this area over here, right? Into that one over there. Once you get that, load up again because it's going to fall again. Yeah. Then we just want to have a quick look at the news. What do we have for next week? Okay, so we have all day holiday in the UK on Monday, so it's only the UK. That's good for us, meaning NAS might move a little bit coming into the New York Open, but without the London overlap, I don't expect much from the markets on Monday, and I don't plan on trading on Monday. And then we have building permits, not too worried about that. Existing home sales, not too worried about that. Crude oil inventories, I'd be keeping an eye on, right? Jobless claims. Now this one, guys, I'm very intrigued by. I'd love to see what happens here. So from around about Thursday onward, I'd be watching the markets. Just one tip: if the fundamental, so let's say in this example, if initial jobless claims is good, NAS will sell. If initial jobless claims is bad, NAS will buy. Guys, pay attention to that. For you scalpers, you're welcome. Yeah. Then we have Fitch Powell speaking. The BOE, Gav Bailey. I don't really pay too much attention to the shit this man says. So I'm not gonna watch that. By then I would have been out of any GBP markets. I don't trade GBP after let's say 5 o'clock my time, which is normally just before this thing is, about an hour before. Fitch Powell speaks. I'd like to see what that speech is about. What else do we have? We have retail sales, we have manufacturing PMI and services PMI. This is a big day for the UK. So the UK is gonna move this week. Very fundamentally driven. I am hoping to kind of let all this go by, take some notes, and then I want to share a video with you guys if it is what I suspect it is. But for now, take note, the UK is going to suffer the hardest this week. Not suffer, that's the wrong word to use. It's going to be the most fundamentally driven one this week, it looks like. They have some big things coming. The US, other than the jobless claims, I'm not too worried about what's happening in the US this week. And yeah, guys, like, let's take it easy. I will kind of look at the European markets in the coming days for you guys more. Those of you who do want to jump into the EU trade, just wait for the pullback into this area here. As you can see, I have a sign that says sell limit. You set the sell limit up on this green line. That green line is sitting at 1.08723. Your stop loss can be just above here, above this area here, which is, I'd make it at about 109,100. I'd make it at, yeah. Remember, round numbers are a little bit tricky in this instance, so maybe just above 109,900, right? So just above it, right? So say 110, 120, something like that, and your take profit will be exactly where mine is over here, right? You could even just go to 107,000, yeah. And with that, guys, that concludes our market outlook video for the week. Reason I've been also so quiet now over the Easter, I could have uploaded quite a few videos. I do have another few coming this week that's already been done. They're just being edited at the moment. I've been keeping a keen eye on the cryptocurrency markets. Those of you who want me to have a look at the cryptocurrency markets, and if you want me to integrate any of these into market outlooks, or you want me to do more videos on things like BTC, anything that's tradable, really, like, or anything that you guys trade. So I can do USDT, I can do Sol, I can do, what else I have up here that I analyze? I do ETH, I do ADA, I do XRP, DOT, Link, and Matic. Anything really, guys. Price action for me. So if you guys do want me to start integrating crypto into my weekly videos, if you guys do want, because remember, if I did a BTC weekly market outlook, you'd be able to trade it off right through the week. I don't mean myself to be like professional, but like as a price action trader, I should be able to trade every single thing you see on this list here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Keep it moving more than average, guys.